certain intricacies of NAC process particularly, because now NAC has not become a choice for the institutions, it has become mandatory. Since there is a compulsion from the government, every college is now trying for the accreditation. They might be going for their first cycle, and for majority of the colleges, they might be going for their second or consecutive cycle, second, third, or fourth cycle also. There might be certain conditions that certain colleges have got a gap between the last accreditation and the next accreditation due to some unavoidable reasons. But whatever is the case, we have to do NAC. And NAC is such a dynamic process which I have experienced for 2 times. It's very dynamic process. And when I did it in the first time in Baramati, it was in the old format. The whole SSR was into theoretical format. Okay. And since 2018, NAC has changed their entire format and they introduced the qualitative and quantitative framework, which they named as revised accreditation framework. After which they have always kept on changing their rules, their regulations, their expectations through a new set of manuals. The latest set of manual, I think they have published on their website, that was in August 2020, the latest one. When I was going through this entire procedure of NAC at both the institutions, literally I used to check the website of NAC every day, because whatever the new things come up on their website, the institutions are expected to follow those new things only, new rules only, not the old ones. So whenever we are into this procedure of getting the NAC done, whether we are at the stage of IIQA, whether we are at the stage of DVV, whether we are at the stage of SSS, whether we are at the stage of the peer team visit, whatever stage we need to check the website all the time. And whenever something new comes on the website from NAC, we have to follow that. That is how the process is. Now, my personal, whatever this, the 5-day webinar series is out of my personal experience. Whatever this, in the journey of the NAC accreditation, I got in both the management institutions, out of that experience, what I understood and whether to highlight, what to give more importance, what to give, focus, which areas to focus more. All of these things I could identify during both of these processes of NAC. And out of these 5 topics have come up. I shared it with Dr. Deepak, and he was very happy to see that if we conduct the sessions serially on all of these 5 topics, then not only the IQAC cell of KMC, but the IQAC cells of other colleges also get benefited, and out of which everybody would can improve their score in the NAC. My dear friends, my very first request to all of you, because all of you must be the either IQAC coordinators or the IQAC team members or principal of some or other college. So it is my sincere request to all of you to not to consider NAC as a burden to you. Very first thing. It is an obvious process. It is a natural process that has come up in our curriculum or in our journey or in our job profile. So please do not consider it, first of all, as a burden or extra thing or extra work that we are going to do. No. There is a simple expectation from NAC that whatever you do for the benefit of the students, for the benefit of all the stakeholders of the colleges, whatever you do, just document it and present it in front of us. Now for presentation purpose, they have given certain format. So in that given format, if you present your entire information, NAC is the wonderful journey. It's an enjoyable journey. To all the IQAC coordinators, let me request you one more thing, that NAC is not just the work of IQAC coordinator, number one. NAC is not the responsibility of only IQAC team, number two. NAC is not the work of only IQAC team, IQAC coordinator and principal. No. It is the work, it is the task of entire team. It is a teamwork. Whether you are directly associated or indirectly associated with the NAC work, you are a part of team. Your teaching staff, your non-teaching staff, both the teams come together. They must show some teamwork, unless and until it is not possible to get through the NAC. Because the stages and the filtration and the checkpoints are made by NAC in such a way that at any point of time, if they find some discrepancy between different stakeholders, between the teaching staff and non-teaching staff, between the teaching staff itself, between the non-teaching staff itself, between the students, between the alumni, between the employer, whenever they find some discrepancy, they catch you. Because you assume something while making the SSR and you put it in the SSR, isn't it? When you put all these things or whatever the claims you make in the SSR, always one thing is in your mind is extra mark, extra mark, extra mark, extra score, isn't it? Everybody always tries for extra score. Yes, score is important, no doubt, because on the basis of that score only you are going to get some grade. But while making the entire process, please keep that point away from your mind and focus on the quality enhancement in your SSR. Now, when I mean to say that quality enhancement, there are actually three steps of quality. One is quality establishment, another is quality enhancement, and the third is quality sustenance. The very first step of quality establishment, I think that you are already doing. Day in and day out, you are doing this process of quality establishment at your colleges, respective colleges. If you are not doing so, then I'm sorry to say that you are doing something different. You are not doing justice to your job. So quality establishment that we are doing every day through our routine in the college. That is number one. Your recording of that entire quality establishment, recording in the form of documents, that has to be proper. Whatever is the way of maintaining the documents, you are free to do that. I experienced that in Baramati, as the name of that institution was Institute of Information Technology, and our then director, oblique principal, he was the man of technology. So he did not allow us to maintain the record in hard copies. In fact, he asked our system operator, system manager, whatever you call, to make the folders on the server, folders for every faculty. Dedicated space was given on the server, and whatever the records were there, he asked us to keep it in soft copy into that folder. That's all. No papers were made available to take the printouts and to maintain the record in hard copy. This is one style. Another style is for every now and then take the printout and maintain the files. Whatever is suitable to you, you can go ahead with it. Ultimately, what happens, whatever the record we send to the NAC, we need to take the printouts and then scan it and make it a soft copy and then send it to DVV. So ultimately, we have to take the printouts only. That's what I learned from this entire procedure. Okay. So the very important thing in the outset or in the beginning of this 5-day series is the first advice to everybody is to have a teamwork. Okay. pump in the energy, with every stakeholder, every staff member, teaching, non-teaching staff member, and make a cohesive team. That cohesive team is going to help you a lot in the further stages, whatever the stages. In step by step, we are going to discuss everything, isn't it? And I think on the last day, we are going to discuss about the how to handle the peer team. Okay. At that moment, you will understand what I am talking right now on the day 1 of this webinar series, that you will realize on the day 5 of the webinar series. Cohesiveness in the team, very important. Okay. And now, step by step, we are going to see the procedure of NAC, overall procedure of NAC, and then slowly we are going to deep dive into the NAC process and which are the important KIs, that is key indicators, and the important metrics of our entire SSR. That's what we are going to focus in the due course of time of this 2 hours first session of our webinar.